Stuff.
Yeah.
I think we both did stuff we regret.
Yeah.
And
well, I don't regret anything I did because I just didn't like what I saw, and it just felt like I walked like when I initially opened up the door, I was just like, because I was literally going in to get something, and I was just like, oh. I backed out, but then I heard like yelling, like voices getting high. So then I kind of stood at the door and I listened. And when I initially went in, like Kiefer just looked so like trapped and awkward. So then I was just like, yo, like what's going on in there? Like what the hell? So I waited a bit. I went back in and I stood there to kind of like absorb everything. And honestly, it didn't make me feel good. Like bullying is not something that like I tolerate. I don't like to see other people get bullied.
I'll get into it after I'll let you talk.
And like it just made me feel really, really uncomfortable. And I know like we're all here to play a game and we're all gonna like have alliances. We're not gonna like this person, we're not gonna like that person. We have to play the game. We have to dish out the tea on people and throw people under the bus and all that stuff. But I don't know, like it just made me cringe and I had to speak up and say something. And then like in doing that, I said other things related to the game and stuff like that. And I don't even care if you want to put me up. I don't even need to address that with you. Like if I
we don't have to talk game. Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm just trying to like give you an example that calling people out to me in that kind of a way is just pointless because we're here to play Big Brother. And if I hear that like you're targeting me, I don't need to confront you about that. You're entitled to target me. You're entitled to say whatever you want to say about me. That's just how I feel about it. But that whole situation in the pantry it made me cringe and it made me just feel really, really uncomfortable. And I did not think it was okay. And so that's why I stepped in the way I did.
Okay. I respect that's how you feel about it, right? I've talked to Kiefer now. I've told him he kind of knows who I am. Like we've got to know each other. I know me and you haven't got to know each other that well. He does not now feel like he was kind of being attacked. There's a lot of things going on that obviously that I can't understand. I don't understand being away from your kids. I don't understand being on the block. I don't understand all these stressors that can kind of build up to that. And
I knew all that stuff prior to walking in, so I was just like, oh my God, this is like the icing on the cake. And
that's on me and Ro for not putting ourselves in someone else's shoes. So I took full responsibility for what made it so bad in my mind is I think when we did it, it's right up, kind of felt like you're kicking someone when he's down.
Right.
I truly see that now after kind of stepping back. What we said about his game, that is something I don't take back.
Okay.
I think what we said was completely valid. I think maybe the approach was something that could have been changed. So if I could go back, I would change the approach and when it was done.
Okay.
100%. And I take full responsibility for that. I'm sure Ro will say the same thing if he talks to you or if he already has. What like really kind of ticks me off, and I'm not even going to talk game of like who said what, who said this here. This is not what this is about. This is more than a game. Being labeled that, I think people who know me in this house, and you know what, I'm sure this isn't going to go on, but people in my life like know that if there's bullying going on, like I'm the first person to stand up to.
Yeah.
So being labeled something that I'm not.
Yeah.
That's not involved in this game, like you know, going for the girls, you know what, I can live with that. That's part of the game, right? Being labeled as a bully by someone is something that like maybe I don't carry it on like my body, but like it does hurt me.
Okay.
And that's not something I am.
Okay.
You want to call me a liar and a manipulator in this game? That's whatever. That's that. But that's something I do take serious too, because trust me when I say it, outside of this game, bullying is, like you said, not something you tolerate. It's not fucking something I tolerate.
Yeah.
At all. And so I hope you can kind of see that. Maybe you knew stuff about Keith that I didn't know about the pressure cooker stuff, and maybe that's a trigger too of how we approached him and how it looked. I hope you know that that's not who I am.
Yeah, I don't know. This game, it's hard, and
because I know that you're standing up for someone by saying, like, you know, it's standing up for Keith. You know, like, he's going through stuff that I don't. You're standing up for him. I respect the hell out of that. But in doing that, I'm sitting there and kind of just taking, like, heat, right? And I feel like if we're going to talk bullying, like, I feel like I'm getting bullied, right? And
no, I don't feel
think
that
you're
you're getting bullied. I'm not a bully, and I don't feel that you're getting bullied.
I don't think you
feel
are
that
either, but I'm not either.
Then that's fine. If you know, that's for you to carry, not me. That's for you to prove to everybody, not me.
I don't.
Right? Or you don't need to prove anything to anybody, right? Like, I don't necessarily think you're a bully. I don't think that is you as a person. Like, I don't think that's you outside of here. I don't know you outside of here. I would like to think that's not you.
No.
However, that situation that I walked into, it appeared to look like that.
Okay.
I'm not saying that is you, Kyle.
Or that is what happened.
Or that is what happened, or that is who you are as a person. I'm not trying to put that label on you. It's just that in the moment when I walked into it, I was just like, oh my gosh.
And I guess perception is everything, right?
Yeah. And I was literally just, had it been anybody, to be honest, like, I'm up against the guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, it could have been anybody, but I'm in a room with him. So naturally, when you're in a room with somebody, you share stories, you confide in them.
Create bonds, yeah.
You create bonds, right? And so that's what happened.
100%.
So I knew some information. So then when I walked into that, I was just like, whoa, he just looked like, it just didn't look good. And it just felt really uncomfortable. And it felt like he was being kind of like ganged up on, and
I think he would tell you now too that he didn't feel that way.
Okay.
I think, but like you said, like, perception.
Yeah.
And you're entitled to, like, everyone has their different perception of it.
But I don't want to label you a bully, and I'm not saying that, like, you are that person, right? I'm just saying that it's an isolated situation, and I don't think that one situation defines somebody. Like, I could make a move in this game or lie or do something, and it doesn't mean that I'm a liar. It just means that, like, I made a mistake, or I was in a situation that made me look a certain way, but it doesn't define who I am on a whole.
And the one thing me and Ro talked about too after, obviously, we wish we could went back and maybe waited 20 minutes. You know, that could have been all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
Waited 10 minutes, 20 minutes. That could be all the difference in the perception. It
probably could have been all the difference in the world, because this is the second week he's on the block, right?
And he did not even comprehend it.
Yeah.
Right. And obviously Ro was pissed off because he was this close to going home last week, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a lot of build up on his part too, and I'm kind of just there. Really, I'm there to support Ro. And then when that kind of happens with you, you're there to support Kiefer, Ro's there to support me. It's like a little circle.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I totally get that.
What me and Ro did talk about is that we've been approached during this game too, in the same way that we approached Keith. And that doesn't excuse it. We just didn't realize that he would take it a certain way until after, when it's too late.
Yeah.
It's like we have been approached in a way that is very similar to that. That is just, we can't put ourselves in that shoes until just now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And retrospect is everything.
Yeah. And I also think maybe Tina and Tara being there also affected the perception, right?
True.
Even though they weren't saying anything, I didn't know.
Yeah, they were just in there.
They were just in there, so it kind of just looked like a group of people in there, and things are kind of being thrown at him, and he's just like, do you know what I mean? Like, not knowing
I get how it looked, yeah.
Right? But maybe if it was just you and him,
just Ro,
or just you and Ro and him, but it kind of looked, the perception looked a certain way, so I think that affected it as well.
Yeah. Well, I just want to let you know that the perception and, like, that's not what it was. That's not who I am. That's not who, I'm sure that's not who you are.
No,
of
it's
labeling
not.
someone and, like, getting pretty riled up.
Yeah, I was riled up because I was just like, this is not okay. I'm not going to stand here and watch somebody go through this, especially knowing the day he's had and just the pressure that he feels. Like, this guy, like, I don't know why you're here or why other people are here, but he's here representing an entire community of people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. And then I guess the other thing is that from Ro and I's perception, I'm not going to speak for Ro, but Ro and me see it as almost a normal game conversation at first. And when you come in and do that, that's when Ro goes off, right? Because that's his perception. Like, we're just having a conversation, we thought. And like, then it kind of felt like our perception was that it was an attack.
That's what it looked like.
No, our perception was that it was an attack from you on us.
Oh, but I walked into something that looked like somebody else was being attacked.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Right,
That's what I mean, perception is everything. You
Yeah.
think we're attacking him, we think we're having a conversation, and then you
But I'm also not the only one who feels this way. Like, other people were like,
well, we talked to
"Whoa."
Tina and Tara about it all too.
Right.
And like we kind of explained the build up to it and the perception of it and everything. And
so I know I'm not crazy because I wasn't the only one that was just like, whoa. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not the only one that's also like, whoa, about like attacking me, because they do know that that's not my label. You know what I mean? And labeling someone is a pretty dangerous thing.
Yeah, I'm not labeling you. I'm calling what I saw. I'm calling what I perceived, right?
And then so that's all I'm trying to like say is that, and then we perceived you as doing that to us, what you thought that we were doing to Kiefer. And I just want to apologize for our part in it, of the timing, of how we approached it, and how Kiefer felt about it, and how we made him feel about it without putting ourselves there. And that's all I want to do. And
that's fine. I'm sorry. I'm not going to apologize to you because I don't feel that I did anything wrong. I'm just keeping it real. I feel that I was standing up for somebody that I perceived to be getting attacked, and that's very emotional and currently having a difficult time. I haven't spoken to Ro yet, but I also don't appreciate him following me out of the pantry after me telling him that the conversation was over, and to stop following me and him still proceeding to follow me. That doesn't sit right with me. That's not okay, but I haven't spoken to him about that, and I'm sure I will. And that's honestly how I feel.
Yeah. Can I just say, from that, where he's falling out of the cupboard, it's that just as you stood up for Kiefer, right? Because you felt he was being attacked by us. Ro is standing up for me because he feels I'm being attacked by you, right? And that's why that happens.
Right. But if we're engaging in a conversation, the minute you tell me you don't want to talk to me anymore, I'm like, I'm out.
To be honest, though, it wasn't a very conversation. I was kind of just sitting there like this, and I was getting yelled at, right? That's not a conversation.
Okay, well, Kyle, I don't think we're gonna like agree on this. I don't, you know, like I do not label you as a bully. I'm not gonna walk around this house telling people that you're a bully. That's not me.
I'm such a little softie.
A bully. You are like, you're a cuddler. You are like a spooner. Like, I know that. Like, you are. I'm not gonna be walking around this house talking crap about you. I haven't been walking around this house talking crap about anybody. Anything I've said about somebody, it's because it's what I've heard, and it's what I know, and it's what I believe. I'm not gonna. I've been asked questions about people. Oh, has this person talked such and such against me? And I've literally said no. Like, I'm a truthful person. I'm not gonna walk around this house and like butcher your name and say that like you are a bully, because I don't believe that.
Okay, well, I appreciate you saying that, because that's not who I am.
So if that's what you're concerned about, if you're concerned about me going around this house and like putting that label on you, I'm not going to do that.
And that's not what this was about either. This was just, I'm kind of just going around to everyone right now and saying, to be honest, this is, I know Big Brother's never off, but if Big Brother could ever be off, this is Big Brother off. Yeah. I'm just apologizing for starting what just happened.
Yeah.
Because without the start of it, of how it was done, how it was approached, and the timing of it, none of this happens.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's
Because from talking to Keith and from what I perceived, it seemed like he wanted to just not have the conversation and just leave. He had already come to terms with certain things, and it's like he wasn't being allowed to exit the conversation.
Oh, he would have been like you can walk out anytime, right? But
Right, but there is something called psychological control, and that's when somebody feels like because somebody has more power or control over them, they can't leave a situation. So yes, physically he could walk out, but psychologically he felt like he couldn't. Like, I don't know if that makes sense to you, but that's what I saw when I walked in there.
okay.
And that's why I stepped in, because it just didn't feel right to me. But it's done, it's over with. I don't think you're that person.
No,
I
no.
just think it got out of control, and whatever I was perceiving is not who you are, and that wasn't what you were trying to accomplish. I just think that everybody's frustrated. It's been a stressful day. There's all sorts of rumors and lies flying around this house, and nobody knows what's true.
Exactly, and that's kind of what started our whole Rose whole frustration, right? And yeah, like I said, I'm just here to say sorry on my part, take responsibility, like legitimately just take responsibility as a person.
Yeah.
And I fucking wish I had a time machine.
Yeah.
And you don't, right?
Yeah. But I don't think you're that person. Like, I don't think you're a bad person. Like, I don't hate you. Like, I don't, like I said, like, you're the softest guy. Like,
I'm a little pansy.
like, do you know what I mean?
Like, I would never be able to. I can't make his feelings feel. What's the word I'm looking for?
Better?
I can't disregard his feelings.
Right.
In the situation. It's just that in my experiences, that situation doesn't end up with someone feeling like that. Now I know, like, right? It's a learning process. Now I know I gotta put myself in the shoe of, I didn't even fucking think at the time.
Yeah.
Block.
Yeah.
We're gone.
And you know what? Maybe Canada's watching and they're probably like, oh, like, what are they getting so worked up about? Like, it's Big Brother. Like, you know.
Oh, and I don't even care about that. You know
like,
what?
you
I'm
know,
here.
people get called out all the time, whatever. But it wasn't, there was more to it. Do you know what I mean? So I think.
And that's not even what this is all about. It's about, we're all people in here.
Yeah.
And we all have to live with each other. This is supposed to be the experience of everyone's lifetime, right?
Yeah.
You're probably not going to win. One of us 14 is winning. Like, what's the percentage of that?
Exactly.
We're here to have a fun time. We're here to get to know cool people.
Yeah.
You know what? And things are going to get made up game-wise.
Yeah.
And that's you know what? That sits okay with me. It's just... That's like stuff's gonna get made up game-wise. I already know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I know. No, I know. Honestly, Kyle, I get what you're saying. It's frustrating. You literally were just trying to get to the bottom of it, like.
That's what I mean.
Like, literally, like,
we're trying to get to the bottom
Rose
of
hearing
it.
stuff about his name, and he's literally trying to get to the bottom of, like, why are you calling my name? Why are you saying these things? Why am I hearing this? Why am I hearing that?
It was the wrong person, wrong time, wrong approach.
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
So
that's all.
I just want to apologize for those three things.
That's it. And it's water under the, like, I'm gonna forget about this as soon as it's, you know what I mean?
I appreciate that.
It's done.
Thank you for coming and chatting.
All right, no problem.